Yeah, he's cleared. As far as involving himself in practice, he's gonna go through an acclimation period. Hopefully, we get him going tomorrow. But he'll be out. He should be out there. But he's been cleared.
So you're expecting him week one?
Yeah.
So I guess you'll just gradually just ramp up stuff.
Yeah, for sure. No, no different than anybody else. Yeah.
Who would start at left tackle for Saturday night?
It's going to be between Billy and Max.
You feel more optimistic about the way your offensive line is starting to seems to come to.
Yeah, we've always said a big back could get the ball rolling, and we started that snowball down the hill a long time ago with him integrating back into practice and all that, and if that snowball keeps rolling, we feel really good about our O-line.
So everybody talks about the chemistry between obviously quarterback and wide receiver, but offensive line is obviously different. Just how do you gain that chemistry with each other?
Well, hopefully with the way we're set, obviously, left tackle there's still that competition at left tackle. Get Dwayne in there, but with the other four, hopefully that can stay the same for a while. Hopefully we can avoid the injury bug, and those guys can just continue to work together and communicate with one another and get going. So.
What are your goals for this? What are your goals, Robert, for this game in terms of what you'd like to accomplish? What are you really looking for?
Come out healthy, but that's it. That's win, lose, doesn't matter. Just go out there, let everybody feel what this offense is going to feel like. The defense feel what it's going to feel like again. Get out there and just get through some reps, and then get off the field and get ready for Buffalo.
Robbie, with Corey Davis, is he back today?
He is not. He's still dealing with his personal matter.
This is obviously it's personal, but is this something that you foresee being? How long do you think he might be gone, and will it affect his status for Week 1?
However long he needs. I don't.
What does it mean to have somebody like Dwayne? We know how important he was last year, and he played through everything. But what does it mean for this offense, for Aaron, to have someone like him?
Just another guy who brings stability, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, knows how to play the game of football, knows how to prepare week in and week out. So there's always a benefit to guys like him.
It seems like you had a great deal of admiration for what he did last year to be able to play through everything that he went through. Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, people won't even get out of bed for the stuff he went through, and he was playing football games, NFL football games in it, and he didn't have to because his money was already guaranteed. So when you have guys who just love the game so much that they're willing to just, and the guy had torn rotator cuffs, and he still went out there and didn't have to, and played damn near the whole season basically with one arm and played pretty darn well. So he's been in this league forever. You know why? People got to see why, because the way he prepares, the way he loves the game, the way he fights through pain, the way injuries he's not affected by injury because he's going to continue to find ways to get on the field. He's an absolute pleasure. He's a stud.
How could a player like that really set the tone for everybody else on the team?
Well, it's an example. Like, a lot of times we look at the glamour of being all-pro and the glamour of being Pro Bowl, but people really don't acknowledge. Sometimes we forget to acknowledge what it took to get to that point. We celebrate the reward and the accomplishment, but we forget that the mountain that was climbed was significant. And but to be able to see it with your own two eyes, I think is valuable to any young man coming into the league.
I'm sure you talked to him, but if Aaron wasn't here, do you think he would be here? Because obviously, what else is he playing for at this point but to win?
I don't know. It'd probably be a question for him. I'd like to think he would be, because he was ready to come back before we ever had a quarterback signed. He was here working and wanting to play and expressing desire to play. So before we even talked about quarterback, I felt like he was in the boat.
He turns 38 next week, I think. Do you think it's risky at all, banking on a guy that's turning 38 coming off shoulder surgery?
No, not him. Seems like whatever they're putting in water nowadays, football players are able to last a little bit longer somehow. I needed that water when I was younger. but no, the way he prepares, I mean, you guys see him every day. I mean, the guy is just so cognizant and so intentional with how he works day in and day out on his body, and so I'm not anticipating any holdbacks because of his age.
Robert, are you pleased with where you guys are right now in terms of offense, defense, special teams at this point in training camp? Just like sometimes, like as a coach, you're like, oh, we're a little further behind, we got to ramp it up, or maybe you're advanced. Like, are you content right now with how this is going?
We're never going to be satisfied. We're always going to want more. We're always going to be nervous about something. Whether we got enough reps, whether we're prepared, whether we're running efficiently. You see a guy bust in practice, like, oh my God, he's not ready to play. So it's a nervous tick in coaches. I think we've had a really good training camp. For me, just want to make sure that we continue to stay healthy as we go into the regular season. But, it's just a matter of just building reps and continue to build reps, whether it's walkthrough, live, endo, whatever it is, group install, just making sure that we're stacking up reps and purposeful reps and just getting ourselves ready to play a football game.
Robert, can you explain how this training camp has been different for you with Aaron here?
I don't know if it's been different. Obviously, having another veteran to be able to lean on and talk to and have great conversations with, that's always great. But I've had, like I said, I've been blessed. I've had Richard Sherman, who I was able to lean on and ask questions, and when I was a D coordinator, and so there's, never shy to go to a veteran player and ask for some thought and some advice at times, So having him here hasn't really changed much. It's obviously the attention's been great, but as you guys know, September 11, once that rolls around, we're on our own. So.
Is it more of a comfort for a head coach to have a guy like that?
Depends. If you, I feel like I don't have an ego, so I'm not afraid to. And I learned this way back in Seattle. When I was a QC, and Pete Carroll was the first person that ever asked me to draw something on the board and give my thoughts. I was like, me? You want my opinion? And I learned that he would ask anybody in the building, because you never know where a good idea would come from. And not to minimize the value of Aaron and all the veterans that are on this football team, but you never have the answers as a person in charge, if you will. It's you look at it as a team, and it's a team of people that, if you allow a voice and you allow a conversation, again, this is my philosophy, you never know where a great idea may come from, and you never know how it might help your football team.
How excited are you? How excited are you to see this thing come to fruition in this game this week? To see Rodgers, that unit out there.
It'll be fun. I'm not holding on to any result. It could be a couple of 3 and outs for all I know. It doesn't matter. I just want them to go out, get their feet wet. A lot of anticipation, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's just go out there and just feel. It's like an MMA fighter. When you step into the cage for the first time, you just want to use that benefit to your that you want to use it to your advantage, and give those guys a chance to step into the cage together one time before the season starts, and you just it's just go out there, have fun with it, execute, and we'll see what happens.
Do you remember what you drew that day? Like you mentioned when Pete called you up. Do you remember what you put on the board, and was it well received, or?
It was a run play and a fit. It was a run fit. I think I was fit and power, if I remember right.
They use it?
No. It was I was defensively just explaining my thoughts on the fit as I remember it, and then there was a route concept and how we would fit that to the pass, and it was just all within the coverage and just getting a view. So.
Robert, I know you're playing them in the regular season this year, but does a preseason game against the Giants go to another level that prepares you for the regular season?
So, one more time, I'm
I know
sorry.
you're playing them during the regular season this year, but does a preseason game against the Giants take your team with a little bit of a rivalry feeling to another level to get closer to the regular season than a normal preseason?
I think, and I might be misspoken, what I think they'll feel is I think the fans really love this game too. The Snoopy Bowl, I don't know if it's still called the Snoopy Bowl, but it's I do know that the stadium will be a little bit more, not regular season live, but there will be more people in the stadium for Jets Giants, and so it's at least they'll get a small taste, different than last week. It was against Tampa. It was half full, and it's and not a quiet crowd, but just a regular old preseason crowd. I just think there would be a little bit more electricity. But for the players, it's just about going out there, focusing, doing their job, and whatever they feel emotionally from the fans, I think they'll feel, and then we'll move on.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys.